The Twins. My number one guy I was looking forward to watching and seeing playing this year, who's been plagued by injuries every single season, is now out for the 5th consecutive season in a row with an injury, and it's only been 2 games. That and other news, let's get into it.
Well, they call the out on the transfer, and then two coming up with the Diamondbacks. Bottom of the third. That's a big. Out to right field.
Welcome back to the Touching Bases podcast. It's changing now. The season has started. We're not talking about off-season, what could be, the predictions and all that stuff, because it is here and things are already happening. Obviously, everybody's talking about the Shohei stuff. I am not going to really dig into that. Already have addressed the fact that Ippei lied, and there's been some story changes on both Shohei's side and the Dodgers and the attorneys, and I don't have any more information. We're going to leave it at that. But the big news today is the injury from Royce Lewis. I mean, he has a WRC plus. His career-wide WRC plus is 159. That's insanely high, probably because he hasn't played a full season yet. Although his ability on the field is awesome, he can't stay healthy to save his life. The second game of 2024, he's placed on the IL. So what happened is Carlos Correa hit a double down the third baseline, and while coming around second base was Royce Lewis. As he rounded, it looked like he stumbled a little bit. He started limping all the way to third base. He was safe, but he got pulled off the field because something was really bothering him, and it appeared to be his right quad. Now, there's no details of how long he's going to be out. I don't know if it's a strain or it's a tear or what, but it seemed like he was in a lot of pain, and he has been placed on the IL until further notice. I should probably correct myself. It was technically the Twins opening day when this happened, but it's day 2 for a lot of the other teams out there, or 3 or 4 if you're the Dodgers or the Padres. So, I mean, if you want to get technical and call me out in the comments, I'm just going to cover it for you. Don't worry, I got you. So that's a big letdown. I really was hoping to see Royce Lewis play this season. I almost drafted him in my fantasy league, and now I'm kind of happy I didn't, but he would have been a huge asset if he was able to stay healthy. But nope, can't run the bases without getting hurt. Man, it's such a disappointment because he's such a good player. In other news, the Mets and the Brewers got into it where we're a couple days into the season and they're already clearing benches. Rhys Hoskins, recently signed by the Brewers, was sliding into second base before the bag. Let's be clear, he slid before the bag, sliding past it and trying to break up the double play with McNeil on the bag. As soon as he slid, McNeil did drop the ball, and technically he should have been safe. I don't know why he left the bag, but he did. McNeil immediately just starts yelling at him, cussing him out. Obviously, McNeil and Hoskins have a history and they've gone at it before. There's a lot of bad blood there, so they both just hate each other, just no matter what. And when they talk to the press, of course, they're just giving their side. It's competition. It's the way it is. These guys don't like each other. He was sliding into second base and it looked legit. I mean, from when we looked at everything and you take a look at the bona fide slide for second base, that is legal. The runner has to be making contact before he gets to the base. The runner has to be able to reach the base with a hand or foot, so he can't slide too far away to try to get in the second baseman or shortstop's way. The runner must be able to remain on the base at the completion of the slide, except at home plate. Obviously, you're going to slide through that. And then the runner is not changing his path or his direction just to go after the player that's receiving the ball. So he was going in line. He did exactly that. He slid before the bag, and way he slid, they say, oh, it was a late slide, so it was dirty. This is per McNeil, but at the same time, it was legit. And he did catch a little bit of his cleat on his back foot, but it didn't seem like it was that crazy. And McNeil even said, I saw it coming. I was ready for it. So it's like, dude, if you're ready for it and you were expecting it, you were baiting to actually start an argument and start a fight with this guy, because you could have set yourself up in a different position. Granted, the ball was thrown low and he wasn't going to be able to turn the double play, but Rhys Hoskins had no idea about that. No matter what, he just wanted to break up the double play, and that's how baseball's been played since I was a kid. But now we're complaining about it because, oh, we just don't want to get hurt or on the field. Play hard and beat the other team. That's how I feel about it. There was a lot of words going back and forth. You guys be the judge of it. I think it was clean. I think it's just bad blood and these guys hate each other, which is fine as well. It just adds excitement to the game. In other news, going out of the MLB, Jackson Holliday, who I've been talking about a lot, and some of you Oriole fans seem to defend the organization about not having him join in 2024 for the starting lineup, which fine with me. You guys can say that I don't know what I'm talking about, but at the same time, I would much rather see, and I mentioned this in my last video, Jackson Holliday go over to third base to replace Urias and leave Westberg at second base. Now, granted, Westberg hasn't really had the greatest couple games, but we're 2 or 3 games into the season, so I don't know why we would even worry about that, but I would love to see Westberg over there at second base and then have Jackson Holliday at third helping out Gunnar Henderson. That's just me. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not saying that's the smartest move, but that's what I would love to see. So that's the reason why I gave my opinion, bro. But while he was down there, I mean, I'm just saying, he led off the game and almost hit for the cycle. His first at bat was a home run. He's definitely shown that he has the ability. He should be up here at the top. They say it's too young, it's too soon, but at the same time, I'm starting to creep more and more towards contract manipulation. And when I say that is that if he comes back on the 18th game of the season after 17 games, then they can hold him for another year. This is what I'm saying. Keep an eye out. I might be wrong. If they bring him up before, they're not doing contract manipulation and they're not going to try and keep on for another year. They're going to give him a chance. But let's just see on the 18th game, if he gets the call, or let's say, I'm going to say even the 30th game of the season, I'm calling contract manipulation. They just wanted to keep him for a longer time. Now, some of you Oriole fans, you're probably going to be mad at me for calling it out the way it is and the way I see it. But at the same time, it's not exactly a bad thing for Oriole fans because you guys are going to keep him longer and you'll have him under contract for less money. I'm seeing it from the side of Jackson Holliday and his ability, and looking at all these other rookies that now have been signed and made the opening day roster, like White Langford or Jackson Churio. These guys made the opening day roster. There's no contract manipulation and they're playing just as good, if not even as good as Jackson Holliday is in AAA. So does he deserve to be in the MLB? Absolutely. And I believe that. And for Jackson Holliday's interest, I would love to see him up playing right now. Granted, for Oriole fans, for the Oriole organization, yeah, wait 17 games and then bring him up. You get him for another year. So I guess it's a good strategy. I don't like it for Jackson Holliday, but at the same time, call me a hypocrite, because if he was in the Mariner organization, if he was in the Padre organization, if he was in the Diamondbacks organization, I'd be hoping they'd do it too, just to keep him an extra year. So Oriole fans, don't get mad at me. I get it, but I'm also like, I'm bandwagoning this year. I really like the team, but I would love to see him play a full season. I think he deserves it. Moving over to the natty side of baseball, we're talking about the Brewers, the other Jackson. There's a lot of Jacksons. Jacksons are just like the best right now in 2024. Like, Jacksons are good. Jackson Miro, Jackson Holliday, Jackson Churio. There's a lot. But Jackson Churio definitely showed his Rookie of the Year contender ability this last game, as he was dominant once again against the Mets. So we're going back to that game where there was kind of a fight there. But let's focus on the good thing, on actual baseball. Not only was he like one of the youngest players to start an opening day lineup, but he also did it with like a loud entry. Now, just to start it off, he walks his first at bat, steals second, snags a bullet right field line drive, and leaps up and barely catches it. It was a nice catch. I'm gonna put it that way. He slaps an oppo single to right field, getting on base. He shows his speed on the next at bat, ground ball to second base, where they try to turn two, but he's able to beat it up before they get it to first. Then again in right field, jumps up and makes a crazy good leaping catch at the wall to snag somebody. I believe it probably would have been a double if he was off the wall and he missed it. But I'm just gonna say the Jacksons are taking over 2024 season. Just saying. Going over to the East Coast, looking at the Rays, Brandon Lau, he came up with bases loaded and hit a 444-foot grand slam home run.
And there's a shot, high and deep to right center. That baby's gone. Touch 'em all. Grand slam for Brandon Lau.
And it's the first grand slam of the entire season, so I just figured I would share that with you guys. Welcome to 2024 season. Brandon Lau hit the official first grand slam of the year, and it only took 2 games, so pretty good. Now going over to my Mariners, just because you guys know, I mean, come on. I was there at opening day, and it was not exactly it was a fun one. Let me put it that way. I was a bit obnoxious, and I drank way too much. Mitch Haniger hit a nice little Oppo home run. That was exciting to see. I believe it was the first home run. Yes, it was the first home run for the Mariners. So seeing him come back and slap a home run on the opposite field shows some really good power, and that he still has it. If he can carry that on throughout the year. Unfortunately, the Mariners did fall short 6-4. JP Crawford yesterday against Boston was the only one to score in the game, as there was dominant pitching from Pivetta. And then also George Kirby went 6 2/3 innings and had 8 strikeouts with a whip of .06, gave up 0 runs, so still a 0 ERA, and came away with the win, as the Mariners were able to show up. Captain JP Crawford hit a right field home run, just absolutely annihilated it. Unfortunately, the game went really quick just because there was just no offense on either side. Both pitchers were very dominant, but Kirby came through. He's shown his Cy Young ability, and this definitely was his first one put in the pocket to move him towards that #1 vote for 2024. Over to the Padres, they came away with a win yesterday against the Giants. That star-studded, heavy bat, elite pitching, Cy Young Award winning Giants over there couldn't pull it together. Giants lost 4-6 to the Padres. Jung-Hoo Lee hit his first MLB hit with a single to center field, so congrats to him. Welcome to MLB. Good for you, brother. But Matsui will go ahead and take the win for this. Gave up 0 earned runs, and In 3 innings pitched with only 1 strikeout, his whip is still at a nice 1.0. So good for the Padres. They take home a win. They're 2-1 for the season. Touching on the Orioles, I did watch the opening day of the Orioles versus the Angels, and the Angels, as much as they were talking them up before the pregame, it was not good. Mike Trout was able to hit the first home run in the regular 2024 season in the U.S. Let me just make that clear. That kind of got the ball rolling, at least for the Angels, but quickly after that, the Orioles took over and beat them 11-3. So that was kind of a blowout. And honestly, I think this is going to be very, very familiar the rest of the 2024 season for the Angels. Similarly, looking over at my D-backs just to kind of round everything off. Oh boy, Rockies. You guys, you and the Angels must be best friends as far as your ownership goes. D-backs were able to knock out the Rockies 16-1. Zach Gallen, good for you. Freeland, your ERA is 38.57. Moving on. So that concludes today with any information and stories covering the teams that I really care about and looking at everything. I did miss opening day because I was there, but we're gearing up for another baseball game. We can talk baseball. Leave comments below. This is all new to me because, before we were able to talk about transactions. Now we're talking about what actually happened in the games. Subscribe, like, share. See you guys later.